Welcome to the Temple of Speed. Welcome to Ferrari's home Grand Prix. It's Monza time. If ever we needed a performance as an individual and as a team, it's now. We've had 2 podiums so far this season. A second in Spa, a second in China. We are aiming for a podium once more here now. Charles Leclerc got a P4 in the Netherlands. I was able to get a P9, which is significantly better than we got last year, I think, in the Netherlands. Yeah, P17. No, P10, actually. Okay, never mind. It wasn't that significantly better then. We did retire in Monza last season, though, and we're certainly aiming not to do that this time around. Not far behind Carlos Sainz in the drivers' standings. Not that far behind Lance Stroll, really. If we can have a phenomenally strong race weekend here, that would be fantastic. And then we're 3 points behind McLaren in the constructors and 19 points behind Aston Martin in the constructors, but certainly myself and Charles Leclerc have the capability to turn that around. So that's what the plan is. We thankfully have sunny skies over Monza for most of the weekend, although qualifying will start in the wet. But with us having a fantastic powertrain, with aero not being that important around Monza, we are very much hoping for a strong result here, just as we did in Spa and China, and what we would have gotten in Austria as well, had we not DNF'd. Obviously, we've turned those race-ending DNFs off for the rest of this season before we'll be turning them on again next year. Whether we're at Ferrari next year or whether we break contract and join someone else remains to be seen, but we can only focus on the here and now, and the here and now is Monza. So for the Tifosi, let's go and do it. Forza Ferrari. Drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel, join me on stream, and off we go. Practice done, resource points earned. We were running significantly worn components in that practice session. 480 resource points though, which is a very nice haul. Like in the 60s for a handful percentage-wise. So expecting to be quite a bit quicker for qualifying, although it's in the bloody wet, so who knows. But we will update all of our parts. Charles did a very quick time on hard tyres in practice, which was slightly alarming, but yeah, we were running a 45% ICE, which is obviously going to be not fantastic. A 61% worn MGU-H, which wasn't going to be fantastic. A 60% turbocharger, which wasn't going to be fantastic. And a 68% gearbox, which, guess what, wasn't going to be fantastic. So, I mean, hoping to be competitive enough in the dry, but whether we've got enough in the wet to get ourselves through to Q3. Who's ready for a P11 or 12? Raise hands. Everyone else is probably doing that flat, and I'm not close to it, which is slightly annoying.
We've dropped to P20.
And Parabolica then, currently 20th. Obviously hoping to improve here. There are a handful of drivers that haven't gone out again, and they will pay the price. That's us through, certainly, not necessarily great, 13th, but through to the next round of qualifying here at Monza. For whatever reason, some drivers didn't go out again when the weather dried up. So there are some quick cars that are out there, Charles Leclerc included. My teammate George Russell, Lance Stroll and Lando Norris didn't go out again, even though it had switched from inters to dry running. Riddle me that. Absolutely no idea why they've done that. Nico Hülkenberg didn't have a great lap when he was out on his soft, so he's out as well. But Théo Pourchaire is through, as are we, but still quite a way off the pace. There's a lot to be found still. Probably going to be 11th or 12th again then in Q2, but we'll go again. Well, I'm going quicker, but
okay, we've been pushed down to P12.
It's not going to be quick enough. We are going to be out of qualifying for sure here. Atrocious Parabolica. Disgusting. We're very fast in a straight line, which will mean that race pace is going to be better. Our tyre wear is significantly better. But It's a poor qualifying for Charles. It's a poor qualifying for me. Charles is out in Q1. I am out in Q2. And significantly off the pace. 17.9 is just monstrous. It was not a good lap. By any stretch. And we could have been 11th or 12th. Even just from not ballsing up Parabolica alone. But I'm out. Charles is out. Zhou Guanyu is through in a Sauber. Christ knows how he's managed that. And Carlos Sainz, a 17.7 in the end. 17.7, by the way. Whew. The Tifosi aren't happy at the end of qualifying. The idea is to send them wild in the stands. They are wild with despair at the moment. We hope to send them wild with delight come the end of the race and the checkered flag falling. We made good progress forward in the last Italian Grand Prix before retirement. We will aim to do so again. Maybe go with Charles as well, which might actually help. We can maybe work in tandem together to get through the field. Well, we know that Charles isn't going to be on pole, don't we? Carlos Sainz and Kevin Magnussen in a Haas 1-2 at Spa. Who saw that coming? The Ferrari customer team are locking out the front row. Zhou Guanyu manages a P8 in the end, which is fantastically good for him. Any penalties for us to move further forward? No. We will be P15. Charles Leclerc will be P16. And lining up on the 8th row of the grid, we certainly hope that the Ferrari duo can move significantly further forward.
Home race, which means it's extra important for everybody in this team. They've got friends here, they've got family here, they're all in the grandstands watching. So let's go.
No pressure. No pressure. It's not like we're starting 15th or 16th or anything. We have significantly better tyre wear, so I'm going to take some fuel out as well because we'll be able to save some at the end of the straight throughout the course of the race. We will be undercutting probably by 3 or 4 laps. Are others starting on the hards? Everyone is on the medium. Nobody is on the hard tyre. I would be sorely tempted to run the hards, to be honest. But because absolutely everyone else is on the exact same strategy, it's probably not advisable, is it? We're not that much faster. We'll start on the mediums, and then we'll switch to the hards, but we'll probably switch to the hards on lap 20 to 22 rather than 28. But obviously DRS dependent, DRS train dependent, because rather evidently it's going to be strong here, and if you're not in it, you're ruined, which is why we won't take the risk with the hard tyres. Quite surreal to have Charles behind me at the start, to be honest. I think this is the first time I've out-qualified him in my Ferrari career. He is 15 to 1 up on me in qualifying, I think. I might have out-qualified him before, but I don't think so. So then, for the Tifosi, from a long way further back than they would like, what can myself and Charles do from here? And we're underway. Good start on Ocon. Jesus Christ, Charles off. All right, see you, pal. Bloody hell, Leclerc just disappeared. Try and squeeze. They're going to be 3 wide in front, which is not going to go well for anyone, really. We're 2 wide here. Charles has forced his way up to 10th already. How's he done that, then? Charles Leclerc from P16 to P10 in 2 corners at about 250 metres. That was monstrous from him. That might be the best start I've ever seen from an AI car, ever. Charles Leclerc just went for it. I was hoping to maybe follow him through. I've made 2 positions. Lance has made 3. George has actually gone backwards. But Charles Leclerc, wow, start of the season. Now, last year at Monza, we qualified poorly and made significant trajectory forward. Before then, the retirement came. Charles is looking to make even more moves. He's right up the back of Alex Albon now. Managing battery well, staying within DRS range also is evidently going to be crucial here. But it's definitely going to be DRS training at Monza. It's like that in real life, let alone in the game where DRS trains are not an issue, but strong. But you can see, even without battery, we're not actually that slow in a straight line. We're actually gaining on those in front ever so slightly, or at least maintaining the gap. They're going to concertina up through turns 1 and 2. And then we might have a look if we can get a decent exit, which I unfortunately haven't been able to do, at Pierre Gasly into the next turn. So DRS is active now, and we're very much in DRS range. It can be a case of getting aggressive in the braking zones, and with the attacking of cars in front. And we'll try and make as many positions as we can, hoping to follow my teammate into the points to begin with, and then through the points as the race goes on. And what happens with DRS trains and positional situations later in the stint will decide when we stop. Charles again having a look at Alex Albon, going left then right, and getting the move done around the first part of the Ascari chicane. Charles Leclerc is on the move. I'd like to go with him, but I have a funny feeling that's going to be easier said than done, don't you? Tsunoda's having a look around the outside of Charles Leclerc here. It is getting feisty. The front 9 are getting away. Yellow flags presumably just because everyone's going so slowly through the chicane. Charles has been able to hold on. Oh, as he moves himself up to P9. No, the yellow flag is for Kevin Magnussen, who's going very, very slowly indeed. Why is K-Mag going slowly? There was no smoke out the back of the Haas there. Does he have a puncture? Or is it just a technical issue? Doesn't look like there's a puncture there. It's just going to be a mechanical retirement of some description. It's not an explosion of the engine, but presumably gearbox then, rather than an engine component. Kevin Magnussen, one of the Haas cars that started at the very front of the grid, is out. A free position for us and for, well, basically everyone from P2 backwards. Carlos Sainz leads and continually does so, and has a bit of a gap back to Fernando Alonso. And we'll try and catch on that front 8 now if we can. Charles Leclerc leading this group forwards, but he's probably going to have the pace to try and get away, you imagine. I want to go with him, but I've got to get through these next 3 first. And if I can undercut Charles Leclerc, then that's the ultimate dream here. I'm quite happy in P12 at the minute. Not been driving spectacularly well, as you'll probably be able to tell from the fact there's been multiple cuts so far. I've made a handful of mistakes that have cost me time, that haven't been worth showing you. Hence why we haven't made the progression forward as we might like. But from lap 4 onwards, that changes. That's good. That's going to be another free position because he's going to be very slow in a straight line. And if that is the case, I need to get past him with Pierre Gasly as soon as possible to try and keep up with those in front. Albon is going to be slow in a straight line. We cannot afford to get stuck behind him at any point. Very nearly ran into the back of him then, and that wouldn't have been stuck behind him, that would have been in behind him. You can see how his top speed is affected here, so we're quite simply just going to go around the outside of him of turn 3. Get the move done. And then try and stick with Pierre Gasly as we progress further forward, trying to get back to within DRS range through the Lesmos, so that we get it here, which we do, and we'll try and get away from Alex Albon so we're not under any threat behind. And then with Pierre Gasly chasing now Yuki Tsunoda, as Charles Leclerc has managed to catch up to the group in front. We're very much still in the hunt for good points here today. Stroll is past Albon now behind as well, so it didn't take long for Lance to come with, nor did we really expect it to take long for Lance to come with. I don't know whether Pierre was or was not within DRS range of the car in front. If he wasn't, he's very vulnerable. If he was, which he might just have been, he isn't, but he wasn't, and he is vulnerable. They're getting very, very wide in front as Charles Leclerc looks to make more positions. And I'm backing out of that. Just made sure I kept braking and didn't turn, so I didn't lose any braking performance there. Gasly is going to be vulnerable, but we need to make sure we do it the right way and don't lose too much time to that group in front that have very much come back towards us here, as you can see, fighting hard. There is still a strong chance of a very strong finish here, but I need to get myself back within DRS range because concentrating on talking to you has meant that I've fallen out of it. So I'm going to use my battery here to get back within, and then hopefully we'll have it down the main straight again. Gasly's got DRS now. I had to use a lot of my battery to get back within range, but we are within range.
Okay, the car ahead's beginning
thankfully.
to pull away. You know what to do.
Yellow flag behind. Someone else is retiring. It's the McLaren. It's Oscar Piastri, I think. Oscar Piastri is retiring from this Grand Prix. No, that's Piastri in front. That was a bit of his front wing that just went past me. It's Lando Norris that's retiring from this Grand Prix. Presumably, again, with mechanical failure of some description. Yep. As mechanical failures come, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? More forthcoming than Kevin Magnussen's exact issue. Not a place gained for us at this stage of the Grand Prix, but Lando certainly would have come through the field. He's out. We're down to 18 runners at Monza already. And, well, we're all stuck behind the Sauber at the minute, which has meant that this group in front has come right back towards us. Zhou Guan Yu's having a fantastic Grand Prix, but he is beyond vulnerable at the moment, and it won't be long before he starts to tumble. Lance is having a look here. I'll go deep on the brakes into the Ascari chicane to keep my position. By doing so, we've been able to close right up on the group in front, and we might be able to make a move into the chicane at the end of the start-finish straight next lap. Especially if people are getting feisty into Parabolica. The people that are getting feisty into Parabolica are my teammate and Oscar Piastri, who, as we know now, is missing some front wing. Surprised that there's no VSC at all. For Lando Norris pulled off to the side of the racetrack here on the straight there. Do I? I might have a look at Pierre Gasly. I'm going to. Hi, Pierre. Bounced across the curb a little bit. He bounced off the next one. We've got the better exit. And we are through into P10 and into the points. More positions being made. Charles Leclerc's up to about P6, I think, right now. And both Ferrari, as the Tifosi prayed, are making great moves through the field towards the podium positions. They were wild with despair yesterday on the Saturday. We're driving them wild with delight thus far. We hope that it ends in the ultimate delight with a double Ferrari podium. That's the target right now. Piastri and Perez getting very side by side there. I dipped onto the grass on exit. Perez, I thought, had Piastri then. We got a massive run on all three of them somehow. Christ, what do we do here? Nothing, I think, is probably the safest option. Protects the front wing, although they're still continually very slow. I might have been able to throw it up the inside of Tsunoda there. Decided better of it. Jesus Christ, that was scary. Everyone was clouting across curbs. I daren't throw my nose in for risk of losing it. Are they going to be slow through here again? Yes is the answer, as Piastri leads the way. Piastri again will be vulnerable around Parabolica and down the straight. Try and carry more speed, get a better exit. Might use all my battery here and go for at least a double. If not, maybe a triple overtake. We've got a hell of a run. We're going to go for the trip. We're going to get the trip. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, we might not. Sergio Perez is very keen on staying around the outside of me here. No, triple overtake, boys and girls. That's P7. Now I haven't got any battery to defend. I'm the vulnerable one. But Checo's not doing too well either. I wonder whether Sergio Perez is also running damage here. That's going to be a great thumbnail opportunity, so bear with me here. 4 into... Wow, that was tighter than we thought, wasn't it? 4 into the first turn, all together. That is what Monza's all about. It's quite slow all the way down that part of the track. It continually, like I say, might have just been part of a bad exit, but we're still very much opening the gap. quite considerably. They will close it up when they get the opportunity to with DRS, because I'm sure they won't be out of DRS for long. But they are out of DRS for the moment. I'm 3.8 seconds now behind Zhou Guanyu. And he's trying to hang on to the back of Charles Leclerc. The target now for the rest of this stint is just to close the gap in front, which is not going to be easy because Charles is going to be dragging Zhou Guanyu along. But as soon as Zhou loses DRS on Charles Leclerc, we should hopefully be able to close the gap on him. Although Kick Sauber, of course, are another Ferrari customer team, so they will have the same power unit in the back of that car as we do. They're within DRS now behind. These boys are going to get very, very tasty behind me. But hopefully they battle amongst themselves and we can maintain some level of a safe gap behind as we progress along. And yet they are battling and they've fallen well out of DRS range again. Zhou Guanyu is now out of DRS range of Charles Leclerc. Operation Close In on P6 is well underway. They're battling very hard in front. Charles Leclerc has managed to get his way up to P3 now, and Hamilton is battling with Max Verstappen behind them. The gap in front has dropped to just 3 seconds. Zhou is with them, and Charles is actually leaving them for dead as well. So at the moment, Charles Leclerc has gone from P16 to P3 in about 12 laps, which is astonishing. Our 15th to 7th is impressive enough, but that from him is unreal. Unfortunately though, because Zhou Guanyu has caught those two in front, he's now going to get DRS, but as they will continue to battle, hopefully it will just bring them further back towards us and we can take advantage with the free air we have in front. Zhou Guanyu actually has just taken Lewis Hamilton around the first corner, and you can see as the gap plummets, we're definitely going to close on them before the pit stop. We're not going to get Charles Leclerc. That objective is very much gone. Charles is significantly the better driver, but nobody's surprised by that, are they? In fact, Zhou Guanyu has caught these two, passed Hamilton and Verstappen, and is now disappearing in P4 down the road. What a Grand Prix for Zhou Guanyu and for Sauber. And what a Grand Prix for Ferrari so far. Charles Leclerc gets after the front two. I will try and do the same if I can with an undercutting pit stop. If I'm without DRS of anyone in front of me, Jesus, then it will make sense to undercut. If I've still got DRS, then I will stay behind the car in front. I had a poor exit of the Ascara chicane there, so I'm not going to be in DRS range of the two in front now. But down the straight, they're going to battle into turn one again, and hopefully we'll be within a second of them by the DRS zone between the second Lesmo and the Ascara chicane by that point on this lap. They've zoomed up on Zhou Guanyu again in front. I haven't quite been able to get myself in DRS range yet. I did this last lap and was within 7 or 8 tenths of Lewis, but then by the time we got to the DRS zone was just outside of a second. This time that's not going to be a problem. We're very much going to be right with them, so we will have DRS now on lap 17. When we box, we will be last, but we hope on brand new, fresh, hard tyres we'll have some pace compared to the worn mediums everyone else is on. Our tyre wear is better than expected as well by about 10% here at Monza. So everyone else's left-hand tyres are going to be significantly more worn than ours at this stage by about 2.5% on the left-hand side. So they're going to be pushing 30 on the rear left, where obviously we're only just past 25. They keep having a look into Parabolica, which is just a silly idea, really. And we got a triple overtake a few laps ago, and I'm going to go for a double here in similar fashion. Zhou is going to push me right to the edge, but we're going to get it done. Lewis is around the outside. Can we do the same to him as we did to Sergio Perez and Pierre Gasly? Yes, we can. Right, now time to go and get Max Verstappen. We are P3 and P5 now as Ferrari drivers. The next phase of the race begins. Oh, God. Okay. The next phase of the race hasn't started as well as it could have done. Back down to P7.
Opportunity to take the place back.
Yeah, no, we'll try and take the place back. Don't worry. I'll make up for that, but that was a bit silly of me. Concentrating again too much on talking and not on driving. I haven't got the battery to do what I did last lap now.
Ahead, 7.2 seconds.
But so will go for Hamilton. I might be able to try and take advantage if they're slow. Which they are. Can I cut back here and get a decent exit? No, because Sergio Perez was in the way. Alright, hanging fire then for the time being, back in P7 now. Max is getting away. I will try and close in on him before we box, but at the minute I need to get through this lot before we contemplate boxing. Alright, I think we'll probably box this lap. Because we're just continually losing too much time behind these guys. My battery level is built back up as well. I'm going to box 21. We're going to undercut by 4 laps. It's a big undercut. Very big undercut. I'm hoping, with the battling going on throughout the field, we can gain time. I'd like to get past Hamilton and Zhou through the pits, and then maybe try and gain on Max. A double Ferrari podium might not be doable at the moment.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Because the Aston Martin of Alonso and the Haas of Sainz might be too far down the road. But certainly a P4 is on for me, and a P3 at worst is on for Charles. Annoyingly, at the beginning of the episode, I said that I wanted to try and close in on Carlos Sainz in the Drivers' Championship, and he's now winning this race.
Make use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
But we're in the pits. It's a big undercut. Very big undercut. But one, hopefully, that will work for us.
Okay, go, go, go. That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
So now we'll see what happens to the gaps in front. I mean, actually, the crucial gap, knowing pace-wise the difference, will be to Charles Leclerc. We'll wait until we put in a respective lap.
Is higher than we need it to be.
Yikes.
So please, let's try and back off a little bit and make it last.
I'd rather not save any fuel at this stage, to be completely honest. I will see what, once we've done one full flying lap on hard tyres, we'll see what our lap time is and compare that to our teammate who's also running in free air, and see if the undercut is gaining us time on Charles or not gaining us time on Charles. 1.1 seconds faster than my teammate on that lap. It's rather sizable. We will be P5 after the pit stops, at least, and hopefully close enough to Max that we can make a difference. And fingers crossed, we don't get held up too much by those that are currently in front of us here. Hopefully they'll all dip into the pits as we get to them. I won't get the DRS, but I won't get held up. Do the same again this lap. 21.8 for me.
Ahead, 32.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in third. Time last lap, 1:22.3.
Yeah, so that was about half a second quicker. Big lock-up from Nico Hülkenberg into turn 1 there. Teo Pourchaire gets him. We're now within DRS range. This is where I'm going to start to get held up. this is where it's going to suck. So if I can make the lunge on Nico Hulkenberg here, as he goes very, very defensive, I'm going to lose so much time. Thankfully, he clouded over the second curve. We will get the move done, but not in an ideal fashion. That's going to cost me so much time. Hopefully we can make up for that. The front runners are in the pits. Charles is continuing on though. Charles Leclerc goes for another lap. We're going to be within DRS range of Théo Pourchaire by the time we get to the main straight. So we'll have DRS down the start-finish straight, which will help. Max pit, Checo continues. Now's where we find out how much our undercut was worth. E-boxing or not? No? Okay, that's fine. Alex Albon gets preferential treatment in the pits. That's fine. That's Max out in front of us now. And that gap to him is significantly less than it was, but he now has 5 lap fresher tyres than me.
The car ahead of you just
let's find out who's quicker.
The car ahead now on the hard compound.
That's us a net P5 then, chasing Max Verstappen for P4.
The car in front, 3.4 seconds.
Charles in the pits now is going for the overcut, which I fear is the wrong strategy. We'll see where he comes out. If he comes out with Max, then that will save us time, because they'll start battling and we can close in on them. But it looks like he's going to come out well back in third. And we now will take over in fifth as we pass Zhou Guanyu, Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez. And that is the gap that our undercut earned us. With them fighting in the manner in which they were, we're now 4.5 seconds clear of the cars that we pit from right behind. But Max is a tenth or so, maybe slightly more, faster than me a lap here. So without a safety car or the front four closing up and battling with one another, this might be as far as we get. Might be a lonely final stint to this race. We'll try. Who knows what will happen? We'll give it our best shot. We do have another set of fresh medium tyres to go to if we need to. Softs as well. We'll see what happens. Alonso is with Carlos Sainz now. So the battle for the lead should begin very shortly. Charles is a long way back. But you know how much time can be lost when battling at Monza. And if that 2 then becomes 3, it will shortly become 4, and we'll aim to make it 5 for the fight for the win at the end of the race. But we have to pray that Alonso battles very hard with Carlos Sainz, isn't too quick that he just pulls away and they don't battle anymore, and that they all get stuck with one another. The gap between Max and Charles is kind of holding station about 4 seconds at the minute, so there's currently no danger of the Red Bull catching the Ferrari and them fighting without getting involved with an Alonso Sainz battle for the win, if it happens. A safety car any time from now to the end would make things very interesting for a race win for myself or Charles. As Alonso sets the fastest lap of the race, and momentarily, as you check the minimap, probably takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Indeed he does. Fernando Alonso is P1. They are now battling. What will happen over the next 5 or 6 laps or so? Never mind, Carlos Sainz managed to hold on to the lead. If they battle like that, then they really will lose loads of time. I'm about 10 seconds behind Charles Leclerc, and he in turn is about 10 seconds behind the front 2. They are fighting, but they're so fast that even with their fighting, I don't know as Charles is really closing in on them too much. Got a new objective there, which we'll absolutely do. Asking for a 1:24.2. My last lap was a 1:21. So, yeah, we'll do that. Thanks for the extra pace stat or racecraft stat, wherever it is going to be. Now is where our tyre wear, I think, is starting to have a bit of a positive effect for us. The gaps behind are growing slightly faster. The gaps in front actually aren't growing anymore. If anything, they're coming down slightly. So there's still 19 laps to go. We'd have to gain considerably, but because of our better tyre wear around Monza, we might be able to bring ourselves back into contention for maybe a P4. 5.5 seconds to max needs to be overturned in the next 18 laps. Might be a close run thing to the line for the win, but nothing's going to change for us. Nothing's going to change for the podium. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th basically locked in now. They have been for a little while. It's been a lonely stint. I don't know as really you'll have seen much, quite frankly, of the majority of this race stint. I did waffle a little bit at the beginning of it, but yeah, there's nothing doing. It's just been me driving around Monza effectively in a practice session for 20 laps, and well, there's 10 more to do. I mean, we're praying something happens up top in the last few laps and we can take advantage of something, a retirement or a mistake. It doesn't look likely of happening. The front two really are battling much, much harder now. Charles Leclerc has halved the gap in the last 3 or 4 laps alone, so there might yet be a bit of a battle with more than 2 cars for the win here, as we're on lap 47 of 53 with 7 laps to go, including the one we're on. Don't rule Charles Leclerc out of a win for Ferrari yet here. But it's, even if we end as is, it's probably been as good as the Tifosi could have hoped for. Probably better than they hoped for. From 15th and 16th on the grid to finish 3rd and 5th is one hell of a recovery here, and shows the pace that the Ferrari genuinely does have at circuits that need very little aerodynamics. It just unfortunately is the case that most circuits need at least some level of aerodynamic proficiency, which this Ferrari at the moment doesn't have. I need to concentrate still though, because my tyres are very worn, but there goes any hope really of making any inroads further. I mean, we were not going to be finishing anywhere other than 5th anyway, were we? So let's not get too carried away. Charles Leclerc is in the hunt for the win. The duo becomes a trio.
The Haas drivers just completed a pass for the lead.
And the Ferrari is going for broke. Go on, Charlie boy! Get that lead, pal. The potential of a double overtake for Charles Leclerc down into turn 1 on lap 51 of 53. There are 3 laps to go. There are 3 cars in the hunt for the win. And if they battle very hard, Max might just make it 4 on the final lap.
Okay, here's the gap that we're trading.
We'll be able to tell what the gap to those guys in front does, because we can see the gap to Charles. But then he's very much now a trio. Fernando Alonso leads Carlos Sainz, leads Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen 5 seconds back, and me non-existent. But it's certainly 3, it might be 4 by the end. I'm keeping an eye on it, but not necessarily the gap to Max. It's the gap to Charles, and to see if it even is still Charles in 3rd place. Max has gained by a second, but as they start the final lap, it's still, for the time being, Sainz, Alonso. Now not Alonso, Charles Leclerc's into P2. Can he make a move for the lead into the final turn? They are all right with each other. Max is really closing up. Charles Leclerc has taken the lead of the Grand Prix through the final turns on the last lap of the inside. He started the straight third. He ends the straight first. That's the exact same move that we've pulled out multiple times in this Grand Prix. Of the inside of one, around the outside of two, and then with better traction and better exit to make the position. It's only 2 seconds now between Max and Alonso, and if there were maybe just 1 or 2 more laps, then it would have become a four-way fight for the win. But it looks like Charles Leclerc is going to make it work. It's been a particularly lonely stint for ourselves, as you can probably well imagine, and have been able to deduce from the amount of highlights you've seen, or at least the scenario during the highlights you have seen of this final hard tyre stint. But Charles is leading through the Ascari chicane, will lead on the run-up to the Parabolica, and I dare say I think Carlos Sainz is more worried about what's behind him than what's in front of him as they head into the last corner. Sainz might well not end in second, but Charles Leclerc is going to win the race from P16 to the win for Charles Leclerc, sending the Tifosi wild from both ends of the spectrum. Torrid display in the rain on Saturday to a winning display on the Sunday. 15 and 16 become 5th and 1st. Lance Stroll gets driver of the day. I've no idea how, when Charles Leclerc has done what he just did in that Grand Prix. We shall see what the championship standings look like now with him doing that. So Charles is continually in second in the championship with a 3-point advantage over Fernando Alonso. I've closed my gap on Lance Stroll, but Carlos Sainz has extended his gap on me. And in the Constructors, we are now above McLaren as we thought we would be, and we're 12 points behind Aston Martin. And closing, we got 35 points as a team here, and Aston Martin got only 24. P2 in the Constructors is the plan for the team, which, given the nature of this car, would be remarkable, really. I'm still hoping to finish. Oh, I'm up to 37% recognition. Up the cheese. We're hoping to move higher up in the driver's standings. Stroll and Sainz are my two rivals in that regard, although Carlos Sainz evidently is in a much quicker car right now. There were rumours, in the live chat at least, that maybe a move back to Haas in Season 3 might be on the cards. We shall wait and see. I'm above Lance Stroll in my ratings rivalry. That just hasn't disappeared as a message forever. And the control electronics have passed in the in the durability department as well. I've got loads of resource points. I can't add anything on at this stage though. I won't be able to do that one. I will be able to do the DRS once the next one has become available, and I will now be able to do the front downforce as well when we have the opportunity to do so. More aero options are becoming available to us as we progress through the season, so maybe there is yet still the chance that we stay at Ferrari for Season 3, but the Haas is certainly proving to be a very, very good car with a 1-2 on the grid for that last Grand Prix, albeit only a 2 in the race as Kevin retired what could have been for Haas in this season and this championship if the car had been that competitive all the way through. It will be the Azerbaijani Grand Prix next at Baku, which is a track I enjoy very much so, actually, in the dry anyway. I think it rained at Baku last year, didn't it, in the career mode? And I'm desperate that it doesn't. But we're always desperate. And very rarely do we get that lucky that it's dry in every single session. It will be dry in every single session. Praise be to the Formula One gods. So we're very close to our target for our contract. We're definitely going to be retaining our seat at Ferrari. There's no chance of losing it. Question is, Do we stay here? Haas have made even more improvements. Haas should be challenging for wins and podiums at the very least with both cars for the rest of the season. I will try and get Oscar Piastri in the driver, if I can by the end of the year. 25 points the gap. That is absolutely overturnable with 8 Grand Prix left. I don't think I'll catch Lewis, although the Mercedes have been really poor of late. Their personal results have been pretty shocking. 9th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 10th, 8th for Lewis Hamilton of late. And George has been 17th, 6th, 9th, 5th, 12th. So Lewis may well be catchable with 8 Grand Prix to go. We shall wait and see. But for the time being, that's it for me for this one. Join me in Azerbaijan for the next one in the glorious sunshine in Baku. Thank you very much for watching today. Do let me know your feedback in the comment section. Where do you think I should go? Where do you think I might have the opportunity to go in Season 3? Or do we stay at Ferrari and see how things pan out? We'll wait and see. But for now, that's all from me for today. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one.